Hello. My name is Joe Johnston, and I'm a student at Columbia College. I've recently become aware of new sports leagues that are coming to the world within the next couple of years. Today I will share with you the history of the game of American football, which is focused mainly on the National Football League, and then I will give you more details about the new and upcoming XFL, which some thinks stands for Extreme Football League, and the American Alliance of Football, and how these leagues plan on rising to the competition of the National Football League in respect to the unique stance and operation of the game of football. The game of football in the United States is a full contact sport, first played on November 6, 1869 in New Brunswick, New Jersey. This was a college game which was played between Princeton and Rutgers. The National Football League has been around since August 20th, 1920, beginning its formation in Canton, Ohio. Football is a sport played with an offense and a defense that rotate with possession of the football, and each team consists of 11 players. The field is rectangular in shape with goalposts on each side. The offense has to use a system of running and passing to get the football into the end zone, which is 30 feet deep and 53 1/3 yards wide rectangularly on each side of the short field. The field of play is 300 feet long and uses hash marks running the center of the field, which are 70 feet 9 inches from the sidelines and 18 feet 6 inches wide for the National Football League. In high school, the width of the hash marks are 53 feet 4 inches wide, and in college they are 40 feet wide. The goalposts that I talked about before are 10 feet high and just like the hash marks, 18 feet 6 inches wide. The evolution of football changed the rules based on the Rugby Union Code, but in 1880, Walter Camp established the snap. The snap is the process of handing the football backwards to a player, which is most often the quarterback, just to start the play. Camp also established the size and shape of the football, the neutral zone, and legalized the forward pass, and established the concept of downs. Football is the most popular sport in the United States, with the National Football League being the league that is most followed. The Super Bowl is the most watched sporting event every single year. Not only is the most watched sporting event, but it is the most watched U.S. television broadcast, pulling in over 100 million viewers annually. Whether people are watching it for the game or the commercials, the NFL really doesn't care. Not a lot of American football leagues can rival the National Football League, and while other football leagues try to rival the NFL, some have come close and now they're gone. The National Football League remains on top. In the United States, there have been many different football leagues competing with the NFL. The American Professional Football Association, which changed its name into the NFL in 1922, then the All-American Football Conference that later merged with the NFL, then the first, second, third, and fourth American Football Leagues. They were all key moments for the NFL because the American Football League and the NFL merged, and this was the first time in a major sports league history that they merged without either league losing a single franchise. Next, the United States Football League, Arena Football, and the XFL, which is planning on a second inaugural season after its complete failure after the first and only season in 2001. Finally, the Alliance of American Football was just founded 29 days ago on March 20th, 2018, and is planning its inaugural season in the spring of 2019. Each of these leagues is or was rivaling the NFL, yet they seem to be non-competitive leagues this far as the fan base goes. The XFL is a football league that only had one season of play back in 2001, with the aim to compete with the NFL. It was marketed immensely and was promised to be hard-hitting, rough, violent in nature, without the same restrictions as the NFL uses to protect their players from injury. The XFL is all about entertainment and the game of football. The XFL will discourage political acts during games, unlike the National Football League, because the fans are not there for stuff that is happening outside the game. They bought their tickets for a distraction from the outside world and to have fun. The XFL is planning on having teams in cities where the NFL already has franchises, probably to rid the minds of fans of the memories of the failures of the previous XFL, says an ESPN report. Furthermore, the teams and definite locations of those teams have not been announced yet, but the XFL will follow the same structure that it had previously, with 8 teams that are owned and operated by the league, with a 10-game regular season and a 2-week postseason. The XFL is taking a lot of the old failing parts out of the picture, with no more cheerleaders, less WWE-looking events, and the founder of the XFL, Vince McMahon and Dick Ebersol, tried to use gimmicks and heavy similarities to the WWE at the time because they were trying to attract fans from the wrestling world and the football world to create a sort of super sport market with those two sports combined from an NBC Sports report. In the inaugural game, they had a huge number of fan ratings that was just 10 million viewers less than the Super Bowl that happened a week prior. Towards the end of the season, they realized they had only attracted the WWE crowd that were also football fans. After the only season in 2001, they shut down football operations until a documentary called This Was the XFL on ESPN, which interviewed Vince McMahon, talking about what he could have changed to prolong its validity as a sports league and make it last over a single season. The XFL is now planning a second season in 2020, according to their website. The Alliance of American Football is also a proposed American Football League that is set to play the week after Super Bowl 53 ends in February 2019, as said on their website. The partner of Vince McMahon on his XFL venture, Dick Ebersol's son, Charlie, was the director of the ESPN episode called This Was the XFL. The Alliance of American Football, in my opinion, is more likely to succeed against the National Football League than the XFL because of its close natureness to the National Football League, and the league operators will be overseen by former National Football League members. Players like former Steelers safety Troy Polamalu, the former vice chairman of the Indianapolis Colts Bill Polian, former Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward, former New York Giants defensive end Justin Tuck, and former wide receiver J.K. McKay. The American Alliance of Football will consist of 8 teams playing a 10-week season starting February 9th, 2018. The week of Super Bowl 53 as a rival of the National Football League, but indirectly because it is choosing to start a spring or summer football league because of the huge market gap for football fans during that time period. There will be a full list of teams on their home cities released by June 2018, and each team will hold a draft in their region. As well as the 10-game regular season, there will be a 4-team postseason with the championship game to be played the weekend of April 26th. The first team in the American Alliance of Football is the Alliance Orlando, head coached by Steve Spurrier, and will play in Spectrum Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Some differences between the National Football League and the American Alliance of Football are that teams will have 50 players on each roster instead of National Football League's 53. Games will have no more television timeouts, which will have 60% fewer commercials to cut down the downtime and get back to the game faster, which will save an average of 30 minutes per game to make the game lengths averaging 150 minutes from the National Football League's 180 minutes. The American Alliance of Football is also taking the kickoff and extra points out of the game. After each touchdown, there will be a 2-point conversion try, and since there are no kickoffs, each possession will start on the offense's own 25-yard line, which is the same as a touchback in the NFL and NCAA football. The defensive team can attempt to keep the ball instead of an onside kick by attempting a play from their own 35-yard line in a 4th and 10 situation. If they convert for a first down, they keep the ball. If they don't, turnover on downs. The only replays are the 2 coaches' challenges each team has every game. All in all, I think the XFL and the American Alliance of Football have their own unique challenges to compete with the NFL, with those unique changes they are making to the rules and style of the game to recreate the game we all have come to know and love. I believe the American Alliance of Football will be more successful in their endeavor because the minute changes they made to an already nationally loved sport, where the XFL is keeping the same sport but changing the environment as a whole. Thank you for coming, guys. Appreciate it. Go. Thank you.